Welcome everybody back to Friar Talk. Today we're going to be doing our preview and predictions for this Dodger series and basically giving, our keys for the Padres being able to win this series. Last weekend, it was a close series. It was a really tight one. Padres take Friday, they lose the next two, but they're a pitch away on Sunday. Pretty rough series, and now we're getting into the time. I mean, our stream yesterday was basically about this Padres offense is so frustrating. So, keys to beating the Dodgers this series. First one is going to be very simple. Hit more home runs than the Dodgers. The Dodgers are a team that hits a lot of home runs. I think Muncy's second in the league right now. You have a bunch of guys that can display a lot of power. And the Padres have struggled in that department despite having a really good lineup. So the first thing is going to be very clearly produce home runs. If you can hit more home runs in this series, whoever ends up hitting more home runs is probably going to win this series. So that's the biggest thing for me. And going into the pitching matchups, basically, you got Snell May on Friday, Musgrove Urias on Saturday, and Sunday you got Waka Gonsolin. You have an advantage in one of those, would you say? Maybe one? Not the best lineup for the Padres. Having Waka going against Gonsolin is rough because Gonsolin has pitched super well against the Padres in the past. Urias is very up and down against the Padres. Sometimes he'll go out and he'll throw like 6 innings on like 80 pitches and the Padres won't score. Other times he'll get rocked early on and he'll struggle. And then May, same kind of thing with May. May sometimes is just lights out, gas, insane, and sometimes he's not. So I think this one, you're going to need a couple big shots. You're going to need to actually produce with guys on base. And those are going to be the biggest things in this series. So, Isaac, what do you feel about heading in this series, though?
You're absolutely right. You got the Dodgers, who are top five, at least in prior to last series that we played, and they were top five in slugging, top five in home runs, top five in runs. And seeing how they put up 14 runs these last 2 games against the Brewers, they're probably still top five in those categories. So they've been fantastic. They actually gained a game on us ever since we last played each other. Obviously, it's not a good thing. And if the Padres don't want to fall behind early on, they're going to have to win 2 games against the Dodgers. And it's a really tall task because you're facing Dustin May, who does really good against the Padres. I think that's going to be the one. What you brought up, Matt, in terms of hitting home runs, it's going to be especially important tomorrow or today, I guess, since it's coming out today. Because Dustin May has huge strikeout stuff. He strikes guys out left and right. At least that's what it looked like last week. He pitched a gem against the Padres, and really, you look at how that game ended. The difference was a home run. It was a 2-run shot by Chris Taylor that ended up winning the Dodgers the game. At no point in that series did the Dodgers have more hits than the Padres. They either tied them or had less hits than the Padres. Everything kind of was going the Padres' way when you look at the stat sheet, but the end score does not indicate that. So, no, Matt, you're absolutely right, man. They're going to have to hit more home runs over there. They got the right guys to do it. Juan Soto's getting hot, or Juan Soto's hot now. Fernando Tatis Jr. does really good against the Dodgers. Manny's getting hot or hitting the ball harder at least. But you look at the rest of the lineup, it's pretty cold. Xander Bogaerts has been pretty disappointing for a little while now. I think he's going to bounce back, but he's been pretty disappointing. Carp and Cruz have been striking out a little lately. Cronenworth, Kim, Grisham, all these guys have just felt like automatic outs lately, and it's going to have to change. I don't see the Padres having more hits or out slugging the Dodgers, but they're going to have to at least be able to keep up because these pitching matchups aren't exactly too favorable. You got that first one, and May's disgusting. Snell also does good against the Dodgers, so maybe there's something there. But I think if there's one to win, it's going to be that Musgrove against Urias. And I know Urias is good, but he hasn't been great this season. I thought he looked pretty vulnerable against the Padres this past series, and I'm excited to see that matchup. Walking against Gonsolin is scary, man, because the last time the Padres faced Gonsolin, I thought they had a pretty good showing, and maybe the runs weren't there, but they got him out in, and keep in mind, he was already on an innings count. They got him out in 2. They got him out in 2 innings, meaning even if they didn't put up a lot of runs on him, his pitch count was up significantly. And I think that's what the Padres have had difficulty doing, getting a pitcher's pitch count up. You see in the first 6 innings, they're one of the lower scoring teams in all of baseball throughout the first 6 innings. And that's got to change. We got to be able to jump ahead, because we saw throughout the whole playoff series last time that every time we jumped out ahead, it rattled the Dodgers and we ended up winning. So in my opinion, yeah, you're absolutely right, Matt. Being able to keep up with them in the slugging department and scoring first is what I think is going to end up benefiting the Padres if they're able to do so.
Yeah, and I agree with that too. And I feel like looking at this series, like a lot of times the Padres struggle to score early on. The good thing is, two guys at the top of the lineup love hitting in Dodger Stadium. Fernando Tatis loves hitting in Dodger Stadium. Manny Machado loves hitting there as well. They've had a lot of success in the past couple of years. So hopefully we see some of that. We've seen Manny and Soto really start to heat up lately. If that carries over, that could be huge because you need your star players to start carrying this offense. And like we were talking about it on the stream yesterday, but it's not like the stars have had really bad numbers. Manny did up to this point, but he's turning it around. But it's the rest of the lineup isn't producing. And so they need that much more. They don't need these guys to do enough. They need these guys to go above and beyond. And if the Padres are going to win this series against the Dodgers, they're going to need their four guys at the top of the lineup to go above and beyond and have great series. Two or three of them need to pop off big time, multi-home run series, like that kind of stuff. So that's going to be the biggest thing. And you look at it, that's why the Dodgers win so many games consistently. They have 64 home runs. That's second in the league. That's the difference. Padres are in the middle of the pack. Where are they sitting? 500 right now. And this Dodgers lineup does not have as much talent, at least the top end talent that the Padres does. But it hasn't mattered up to this point. Why? Because the Dodgers produce home runs. That's what they have consistently done. Where the Padres kind of like it seems like a lot of players come to San Diego and they regress. So it needs to kind of change and the home run the deep ball is going to be the biggest factor in this series, and it's ultimately going to decide probably who wins this one. So that's honestly all I got for this series. I think it's a pretty simple recipe: hit home runs and don't get rocked, don't get a bad Snell or Walker start. We know what Musgrove's going to bring to the table. We know what the Dodgers pitchers are probably going to bring to the table. They're going to do good. You hit a couple home runs and you're going to win a low scoring game. That's probably what's going to happen. But Isaac, anything else you want to add?
Get to that bullpen. You got to get to that Dodgers bullpen. It's not that good of a bullpen. They're missing some guys right now. You need to be able to get to them early. The goal's got to be to get those starters out in 6 max. You got to be able to hopefully get them out in 5, but you need to get them out as soon as possible so that way your lineup can start mashing on that bullpen, because I feel like that's where the Padres missed last series. Julio Urias went, I believe, 5 2/3 or 6, and the game before May went 6, I believe. So I mean that was just really really good for 2 starts right there from the Dodgers pitchers. But I don't really have much else to say, man. We just saw them play last weekend, so that's really the only sample size we can go off of based off playing each other. It was a fun series. It was pretty back and forth. The Dodgers just they got away with one. They got away with one in terms of hitting. Mookie Betts hit a great shot off Josh Hader, and James Outman kind of sealed the deal. So the Dodgers played great baseball last series. I thought the Padres played decent baseball. Missed a lot of opportunities that they're gonna have to cash in on if they want to win this one. So it's a really big series. Everyone's gonna be looking at it as one of the biggest series in all of baseball. But the Padres right now stand 4 games back, and they need to catch some ground. They got to do it now, because right now, ever since I think in our last 5 games, we're 1-4. So the Dodgers are catching us at a really good time, but we want to make sure that we leave LA with 2 wins.
I think those are the keys to do it right there. So I think that's going to do it for this episode. So thank you guys for listening. A little quick one right now, but we'll be back probably Sunday night doing a stream, something like that. I'll keep you guys posted. But yeah, let us know. What do you think the series is going to come down to, and who do you think is going to win it? But that's going to do it. So we'll talk to y'all soon, and hopefully the Padres are able to take 2 out of 3 in this one.